Example of strings being vectors of characters. I'm going to show three things here. I'm going to show a vector of numbers, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm just going to do a simple display num sub 1, display num sub 2, display num sub 3, display num sub 4. And since the indices are 1, 2, 3, and 4, what we should get in the command window is simply 5, 6, 7, and 8 as we display numbers at num at index 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go to MATLAB, check it out, put breaks in here. Look at this first block of code on execution. Step through. Num equals 5, 6, 7, 8. We display num1, we do 5. Display num2, 6. Display num3, 7. And display num4, 8. Next up, next example, we're going to define name equals vector of characters T, E, C, and H. And then we're going to display name sub 1, display name sub 2, display name sub 3, display name sub 4. Go down to the command window. Just like in the vector of numbers, the indices are 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so we would display the first item in the list, which is T, the second, which is E, the third, which is C, and the fourth, which is H. Come down to MATLAB, continue indexing through. We're now here at line 12, where we have what I just wrote on the board. Stepping through, name gets defined as the vector TECH. Display name 1 is T, name 2 is E, name 3 is C, and name 4 is H. Next example, we're going to define a vector named nombre, and it's going to be a string. String, vector of characters. A little bit of a difference in terms of what we call them. This is a vector of characters. You see we defined a vector with characters in it, and this is a string. They're characters, multiple characters in between the quotation marks. So we display nombre sub 1, nombre sub 2, sub 3, nombre sub 4. And what we would get, and what we'll see shortly, is we get the same thing we got indexed at 1, 2, 3, and 4. The same thing we got when we had a vector of characters. So I'm asserting here that the string and the vector characters are the same. Over to MATLAB, continuing with on line 18, you see we define nombre. Nombre is TECH. Sub 1 is capital T. Sub 2 is E. Sub 3 is C. And nombre sub 4 is H. So the whole point of this exercise was to illustrate that name here, which is defined as a vector of characters, and nombre here, which is defined as a string, are equivalent. Indexing and slicing with strings is much like indexing and slicing with vectors of characters. Start off with vector num 6, 7, 8, and if we do some indexing here, 2:3, then we're also going to do a little bit of slicing. We're going to display and show 2:3, and then we are going to actually change 2 and 3 to the values 1 and 2. Keep in mind, in order to do this, these two vectors have to be the same size. Also, keep in mind, because the equal signs in here is here, that's an assignment, and now the actual vector num is going to get changed because we are putting these items into num. So the actual value of num will get changed at this point. Also, we'll do some range operator indexing here, some more of it. 1 step 2 to the end. We'll see what that is, and then this is sort of the classic where you go from the end, stepping -1 each time all the way to the first, which winds up reversing your vector. And so if we go down here, look at what the output of this should be. We got 5, 6, 7, 8. Num at 2 and 3. Once again, good review. Index 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So num index at 2 and 3 is just going to give 6 and 7. Not 67, but 6 and 7. Num index at 2 and 3 is going to get the values 1 and 2. So now the whole vector will be 5, 1, 2, 8. And then here we go num 1 to n, but we skip 2, so this is equivalent to the vector 1, 3. And so now 1 and 3, keep in mind these have been replaced now. At this step they got replaced by 1 and 2. So now 1 and 3, index 1 and 3 are going to be the values 5 and 2. And then this is the reversal of the present value of num, and so that's going to reverse it. Keep in mind the 1 and 2 get replaced, excuse me, the 6 and 7 get replaced by the 1 and 2 at this line, and so therefore it's going to be 8, 2, 1, 5. Let's look at the MATLAB. Execute. There's our vector 5, 6, 7, 8. There's the 6 and 7 generated by line 7. There's the 5, 1, 2, 8 as anticipated, generated by the replacement here, the slicing that went on at line 8. There's the 5 and 2 that we get out from indexing 1:2:n on line 9. And there's the 8, 2, 1, 5, which is a reversal of num at that time. Okay. Now let's look at the same thing over in the string world. Name equals tech. Name indexed at 2:3. Name indexed at 2:3 gets assigned the string is. Once again, it's got to be the same size. 2 values on this side, 2 values on this side. Okay, and again, this is going to get assigned over there, so the variable name will actually be changed. 1:2:end, and then name end -1 to 1. So this winds up once again being the index 1, 3, and this becomes 4, 3, 2, 1, as it did over here. So let's predict our output. Name it 2 and 3 at this time. This is 1, this is 2, 3, and 4. So 2 and 3 is going to be EC. Here 2, 3 gets IS. So now you're going to get TISH, which now these two get replaced by I and S at that point in time here. Now you go name 1 colon 2 colon N, which is 1, 3. So that's TS, and then name from N to the first one effectively, because you're -1 all the way to the first one, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is the reverse, which is H at this time, S, I, capital T. Let's see that in MATLAB. Line 12 assigns TECH to name. Line 13, it displays the index of 2 and 3. Line 14 assigns IS to 2 and 3, so name becomes TISH. Name 15 indexes it at 1 colon 2 colon N, which is the index is 1 and 3, so that's TS. And then on line 16, we reverse it, and you have HSIT. That's once again showing the indexing and slicing, comparing it with the the vector of numbers and with strings. Doing concatenation, removal of elements, and also padding with strings is very much similar to doing it with vectors. Once again, start off with the vector of numbers 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to define vector num2 is equal to 9 and 10. I'm going to do some concatenation here. Num3 is going to equal num concatenated with num2. Then I'm going to take that, because this will alter num3. Actually, it initializes num3. Then I'm taking num3 and alter it. I'm going to come in here at its 4th index and remove that by setting that equal to the empty vector. Then I'm also going to come back, num3 indexed at spot 7, and I'm going to make that equal to the value 99. And we'll see what happens there. In fact, let me not make it equal to 99. Yeah, that's fine. I'll make it equal to 99. Okay. So now in my anticipated output here is that numbers are going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. Num2 is going to be 9, 10. Num3 is going to wind up being 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, 10 concatenate on the end of that. Then I'm going to, here when I take basically I'm going to assign the empty vector to space 4, which space 4 is here. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to assign the empty vector to that. So now num3 is going to be 5, 6, 7. That will be removed, and the 9 and 10 will shift down. And you'll have this now indexed at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the next line I'm going to come in and assign 99 to the 7th spot, which doesn't exist. So that's spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will pad with a 0 and then 7. Now let's look at that over in strings. Once again, we'll do name equals TECH. We'll do name2 equals IE, string IE. Name3 will equal name concatenated with name 2, and then name 3 indexed at 4 will equal the empty, which will remove that element, and name 3 indexed at 7 will equal, we'll put in Z, capital Z. Okay, so let's anticipate our output here. Name will be tech, name 2 will be IE, name 3, the concatenation will be TECHIE, techie. I remove the fourth element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so the H will get removed in the next line, TECIE. And then in the last line, the seventh element, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now, because the IE gets shifted down. And so now, if I come in, this is space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Space 6 we will pad with a space, which I'll indicate with this little up arrow here. And then there'll be a capital Z here on the end. And so let's take it to MATLAB. I run the code. There you get 5, 6, 7, 8 for vector num. Num 2 is 9, 10. Num 3 is the concatenation, which is our anticipated 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next line we'll remove the 8 on line 9. And then line 10, we add a 99, but we pad here with 0. Let's watch the same thing happen for strings. Name equals TECH. Name 2 equals IE. Concatenation, we have TECHIE. We remove the fourth element, which is the H. So it has been removed. And then we will add a Z in spot 7, which means we have to pad spot 6 with a space. There you go. If I put my cursor here, you see that there is a space there. So that's concatenation, removal, and space padding.